What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. I see y'all ain't know you're gonna see me 2 days in a row. Hey, I'm very unpredictable, as is Mr. Lamar Jackson. You just don't know what you're gonna get, but you do know you're gonna get a good, memorable performance. And we're gonna dive into that today. But I got my man Kerson with me today, man. How you feeling?
Hey man, I'm feeling great, man. This is a beautiful day to be a Baltimore Raven fan.
yeah,
Nah, I'm just joking, but I am feeling good. I think we got hit with the bug though, so we got a couple of guys that are not going to play. Found that out this morning. Um, we're missing
and
some guys
the
on defense. The COVID list. They've been in it on the
yeah.
COVID list. Jalen Ferguson, Mitabuke, that's hurting.
Yeah,
Mitabuke's been playing outstanding interior ball for us.
yeah.
Justin Houston, and there's one more name. Houston, Metabuke, Jalen Ferguson, and I believe there's one more person. Um, oh, Brandon Williams.
Brandon. Oh man, Brandon Williams.
Yeah, big Brandon Williams.
That's
Yeah,
big Brandon in the middle. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Um.
hey, I'm learning towards my. So earlier in the season, I was telling a friend of mine, the guy from Baltimore. We have we
hmm
have we the guys from Baltimore that root for the Ravens living here in Jacksonville, and
Yeah.
I was telling him I had really high hopes and expectations for uh, Adafe Owe. And
Yeah.
the report on him was that his hips were stiff and he just had freakish talent. But like I told my friend, I told Derek, I was like, hey man, this guy to me is like the DK Metcalf of the defense. He has all of these raw natural talents. He's just
Yep.
unrefined, and when he pulls it together, it's going to be something to marvel. And I think that's what this guy represents to us as a defensive threat, because his size says that he might be the next coming of Terrell Suggs, but he has some intangibles that are just crazy, crazy sick. Um,
Yeah.
and he played like 48 of 56 snaps last game against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So to
Oh
come
yeah.
up big in the fourth quarter after being on the field that long, that's crazy. So yeah, I like where we started rough, but it's never how you start. It's always how you finish.
Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah.
always how you finish.
Yeah. I just got done training, and my trainer, hey, he got the Baltimore stuff all up in the gym. He Baltimore down. So I
Oh,
told
okay.
him about today. Yeah, he Baltimore down. So
Oh,
we were
he
talking
sound like a
about.
man. Yeah, he sound like a
hmm
smart man. I just think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
what's funny to me is that I used to get upset. I still kind of do sometimes when people degrade the abilities of, or try to diminish the abilities of Lamar Jackson and his accomplishments in just going on his fourth year in the
Yeah.
NFL. Um,
Yeah.
and instead of marveling and appreciating the the excellence that you're seeing, people
hmm
want to nitpick and say he's not this, he's not that, you know. And this
Running
morning I
back,
woke up,
wide receiver. Yeah.
that kind of thing. And
Stupid.
so I was going to buy earlier in the game. I was going to buy one of those not bad for running back shirts, but
hmm
he's never been a running back in my eyes. Like I
No.
think he represents the trajectory that quarterbacks are going to now. Just to be honest with you, Randall Cunningham and the Randall Cunninghams of the world. Randall Cunningham, from what as I grew up watching football, Randall Cunningham was that first super duper athletic quarterback that I saw
Yeah.
in football. Not to say that there weren't others, but Randall Cunningham was that first dynamic dual threat quarterback that I saw, and I was like, you know what? The league is going to force him to be in the pocket, and we saw that time and time again as these traditional talents would come into the league. The first thing the league would do is say, you need to play in the pocket. You know what I
hmm
mean? I remember Michael Vick talking about his first injury came, because he tried to be who they wanted him to be and play in the pocket, and he got his ankle cracked. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of times Lamar is the culmination of all of those quarterbacks who were forced to stay in the pocket. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you had Michael Vick, you had Randall Cunningham, you had Steve McNair, Steve McNair could really throw from the pocket
Yeah.
though. You had a lot of these quarterbacks who Vince Young, and you had, I'm sorry guys, my daughter's getting out the car.
Oh, no, you good.
We had all of these quarterbacks who were forced to evolve their game. Imagine what type of football we would be watching right now if other teams and other coaching staffs got behind the people they drafted. Imagine if Houston would have converted their offense to help Vince Young.
Yeah.
Not Houston.
Tennessee.
Imagine had Tennessee changed their offensive philosophy and really catered to his playing style. Yeah. Imagine how far along Tennessee would have been.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because Cam Newton, his biggest injuries came in the pocket.
In the pocket,
he said,
yeah,
and
shoulder injury.
I think that the skids were greased by the Cunninghams and the Vicks and stuff like that. Cam Newton came in at a time where I think that it was a little more acceptable. He still had his doubters, but he went number one. They molded Carolina molded the system around Cam, and that's where it kind of started. But Lamar is perfecting. Every quarterback like this, it's gotten better and better and better.
Yeah,
and better.
So what you're finding is if you cater to the strengths of the quarterback that you choose, you're going to have early success. And to be fair, they've done it with quarterbacks of other ilks for a long time.
Yeah.
African American quarterbacks are starting to get offenses catered to them and their strengths, i.e. Lamar Jackson, i.e. Kyler Murray, because of his size. Who?
Deshaun
Watson, exactly. So because of Kyler Murray's size, he operates better with a moving pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In a traditional set of an NFL, Kyler Murray wouldn't be as dynamic or electrifying as he is, because he would have to stay literally in this box pocket that was made. And I think that in itself is it's just a testament of people who want to win. And then look at the success when you've sold out and get behind quarterbacks, because we could talk about the race implications of it all, but even with, so for instance, Jared Goff looks like a serviceable quarterback right now.
Yeah, he does.
And that wasn't always the case.
Nope.
Because when you look at where these quarterbacks came from, you know who impresses me more than Goff? Who's the quarterback with Carolina right now?
Darnold looks good, man. I've been talking about him all week. And I talked about him yesterday. Darnold looks good.
Darnold looks really good, and no one outside of his immediate family and probably his trainers and his handlers believed after his stint in New York that this was capable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously the general manager who took the chance on the trade, but Sam Darnold behind that line looks like a top 20 quarterback in the league. And he's never looked like that before in New York. So, I just, like I said, I love to hear the naysayers. And they, when it comes to like Lamar right now, they're quiet lunch. I had a guy like just literally argue me down about Josh Allen being so much better
playing like
than Lamar
right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's ranked 27th in QBRs. Lamar is like 19. But I always say, look at the weapons. You know, people say that's a cop out or an excuse, but you know, when has Lamar ever stepped on a field and had better receivers than another quarterback he's facing?
Right.
What?
They say take away all the top weapons. Take away Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Take away Stephon Diggs. Take away DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett from Russell. You take away those weapons. Take away those receivers in Tampa Bay. Those quarterbacks are reliant on them. Lamar has lost his entire backfield. You lost your number one pick receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you lost so much, and he's still churning out the plays.
I think more importantly, you lost your offensive line, and I don't think people really. What's impressive to Baltimore about me, and not just as a fan of the Ravens, just as a fan of football, is that Baltimore has had the number one rushing attack in the NFL for the last. They've had the number one rushing attack in the NFL for the last 3 years. You lose your starting left tackle, you lose your interior guard, your starting left tackle, and you're still the number one rushing team in the league right now. That's bananas. Besides the fact that all three of your top three running backs are on the IR for two ACLs and one Achilles, and you get guys off the street, and you're still tops in the NFL in rushing. That's phenomenal. So I always say, I don't, you know, if it was fifths, we'd all be drunk. But I would love to see what happens when we get Rashad Bateman back. I'd like to see how that pressure. I'd like to see what happens there. I'd also, you know, it's a long season. We have to see who's built for the long haul. But I like the direction that Lamar is heading in. And not just because I'm a Raven, but it's a good time for football, man. Like football is really. I think there's parity this year.
I think so too. I think that they said every year, usually you got 12 playoff teams. Now we got 14. They said at least half of the field turns over. I think it might be a little more turnover this year, man.
Hey, man, listen, let me tell you something. I think there's more than 14 playoff teams out there right now. I think if you look in the AFC, I don't have my computer and my stats up in front of me, but I think that if you look in the AFC, let's take the AFC for example. Kansas City is definitely cream of the crop in the AFC, right? Yeah. But then you got some contenders to the throne. LA is looking really good. Baltimore has been consistently a playoff threat the last 3 years. The Steelers are a playoff threat. So you have those type of things where you have teams, Steelers, the Buffalo Bills.
The entire AFC Bills. West look good.
Man, oh my goodness. I didn't think that was going to be. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be that. And I really didn't think that part of the game was going to be like that. Like, I did not expect Denver. I figured San Diego would be. We knew Kansas City was going to be Kansas City.
Yeah.
We saw the Chargers last year burgeoning into a powerhouse. Yeah. But who expected Denver to be what they are right now?
Right. Now with the new quarterback, with Teddy didn't look particularly great with the Panthers, and it's funny they switched him out, but Darnold looks good now. Teddy looks good in Denver right now, and he has weapons.
Hey,
and Jerry Jeudy didn't even play against the Jaguars. I don't even want to think about what would have happened if Jerry Jeudy would have played because we couldn't stop Sutton. Sutton was killing us.
You want to know what's really crazy to me? Is that the Las Vegas Raiders right now look to be the most dangerous team in the league. And people say, what are you talking about? Not just because they beat Baltimore, they beat the Steelers, and it wasn't that they beat us, it was how they did it.
Yes.
They're hanging around in close games. They're never out of the game, and then they're seizing the opportunity when it presents itself. Yeah. They beat Baltimore in the last minute in overtime. They beat the Steelers. And when you can win those type of gritty games and get that momentum ball, people start playing above their head and they start believing things they shouldn't believe. Like they say, if a sucker get lucky, a player don't stand a chance. You get a hungry team like that to go up against Tennessee or who we consider to be the cream of the crop, you're in trouble. We experienced that 2 years ago when we ripped the league up and went 14-2, Lamar's MVP season, and we ran into a buzzsaw in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee came in and punched us right in the mouth.
Yeah.
So I think this year's team to watch out for, I'm gonna be honest with you, the team that nobody really wants to play right now is the Raiders, because they're in every game and they are doing what needs to be done to close shop at the end of those games.
Yeah.
So,
Just Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Henry Ruggs, Derek Carr's playing out of his mind, and then on the front seven for them, you got Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue coming out the edges with Carl Nassib being a backup, and he came off the bench and was getting pressures, man. So they're deep.
What's the guy who was really high motored against us? Crosby is really Crosby. I don't know. I thought they should drug test Crosby. I thought Crosby was playing with some. He played well. I'm just being funny right now. He really played well.
Well,
he's high motored and
he had Villanueva in front of him too. So let's.
That was not healthy at all.
That boy looked like he was stuck in mud.
Yeah, that wasn't healthy at all. And I think he played out of his natural position. And, shout out to the fact that, each position requires a certain skill set. And Villanueva was a decent left tackle in this league for a long time. And the fact that he got beat like a rented mule on Monday Night Football against, exactly. Like the fact that he got beat like a rented mule playing on an opposite side is crazy to me. Nobody would have expected that, but that just shows you the skill set that each position requires and the attention to detail that it does. Because he wound up subsequently playing better when he was moved to the left side due to injury. So we'll see, man. Like I said, there's so much parity in the league this year. I'm just hoping for some good games. Really, really, really good. Looking for some good games. I think Carolina's going to really find out what Sam Darnold is about, because with the injury to McCaffrey, we don't know how long that injury is going to be.
They say a couple weeks. To watch. They just put him on IR. They say a couple weeks.
Yeah, so that is crazy. He's on my fantasy team. That was crazy.
Right.
That was crazy.
Right.
So,
Speaking of Darnold, they said that when he was in New York, he was down. He was trailing 59% of his dropbacks. So 59% of the time when he dropped back to throw the ball, they were down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that right there, that's not a recipe for success, because you're down. Teams know you have to do what? You got to throw the ball.
And they dropping dime coverage. They dropping 10. They dropping 6 back. They're in that dime package, and they're going to try to pick something off. Listen, I love football for the nuts and bolts of it, but this year there have been some really good games on TV. And usually, we haven't say the quality of games that we've played this year so far are better than probably the last 5 years. You have your selected games that are going to be good because there's like apples to apples. But to be fair, over the last 3 to 4 years, the amount of blowouts in the NFL were a given,
Yeah.
Now it's like, they're not going to blow that team out. Like now it's like, they should win this handily. They're favored by this. They're favored by that. And it's not just happening there. It's happening in college football as well. I mean, Alabama was favored by 2 touchdowns, 17 points, I believe, in the game, and they only won by 2. A missed field goal here or there. So I don't know if it's the COVID. Excuse me. I don't know if it's the COVID effect. I don't know what it is that has this competition level being evened out, but
I'm about to go into that. Personally, I think, and this is not the full reason, part of it though, and I think maybe the lion's share of it, young quarterbacks are coming in prepared. Remember, years past, think about just the 90s. Think about how many top quarterbacks there were in the 90s. You might have had 10 legit quarterbacks, 10 guys that can spin it, 5 that were really good, 2 or 3 who were really elite. Now you probably got about 20 to 22 quarterbacks that can really play. Guys who can spin the ball now. And I think so because and same with college, because 7-on-7 has changed the game because all it is a quarterback drill, basically. So yeah, so it has developed quarterbacks over the long haul, man, and it's changed the game. Coaches talk about it all the time. You develop the quarterbacks, you're going to get better results, better play, and nobody's going to be out of a game because you got a guy who can throw the rock.
Well, the rules help with that too. The rules
yeah.
The rules are
NFL. That's the NFL. Yeah.
I would gather to wager that cornerbacks are going to be paid in the realm of quarterbacks. Cornerbacks will be paid in the realm of quarterbacks again. We went through it for a little while when it was Revis and Ramsey and those type of people, but I think we're starting to, because of the skill level that is really going to require to lock up these wide receivers, I think we get back to the point where we see a price increase or a raise for premium quarterbacks. And right now, top of my head, there might be 5 that I can just name off the top of my head right now that I consider elite in this league. Jalen Ramsey,
Tre'Davious White,
definitely Tre'Davious White, Marlon Humphreys. Get real slim after it get real
Miami,
slim.
Xavier
Howard.
Yeah,
he's playing more of a safety role though. I mean, I get he's playing corner, but if you notice their scheme, it's not. He's not a traditional like corner. But aren't they playing man to man in Miami?
Yeah, I think they're man to man in Miami. Yeah. Jair Alexander is good. Green Bay.
Yeah, I hated to see the young boy go down yesterday for JC, the cornerback for the first round pick for
JC Horn. Yeah.
JC Horn. Thank you.
JC Horn.
I hated to see him go down with a broken foot. That's crazy. I prayed it was a clean break, but you know.
Can't forget about Stefan Gilmore too. Gilmore's been playing some great ball the last couple of years.
I think some people, according to the reports, some people have been making offers to the Patriots about him.
Yeah, he about to be out of there because Bill don't play that. You better pay me more. Anytime anybody has come up with that, they're out of town. So much so to the point where I think the one player that he's moved that I'm pretty sure he wish he could have back is Chandler Jones. There's no reason why Chandler Jones should still be a Patriot right now. I mean, he's playing at an elite level, man. He's been doing it the last couple of years.
Definitely. So I like I said, I still want the Patriots to unleash Ramondre Stevenson. I think that he is something special. I really think he's special. But we'll see.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, let's talk about this Ravens scouting and personnel department, man. We got to show him some love.
We trust in Ozzie, baby. We trust in Ozzie.
Listen, I'm a Jag, and I don't care how this sound or whatever, but I'm be honest with you. Watching guys go down with an injury usually means that position is done for the season because we got to the backups for Jacksonville aren't as good as whatever starter went down, or if we got to go get guys on the street, I mean, you might as well go ahead and hang it up. But with the Ravens, dude, it's like they went to a local gym. Like, hey, you like purple? You like purple? You like purple? You could walk and chew gum? Yeah, come on over here. I can show you how to do this. They coached them up and threw them on the field, and these guys are playing ball.
Yeah, so you say scouting, I say coaching.
Coaching too, yeah. Because you got to scout the talent and then coach them up. Yeah.
One of the things that I think about Harbaugh was he was hired because he has that coaching background, his dad and his brother, and so he has the pedigree, so to say.
Yeah.
But I believe that is over the last 2008. John Harbaugh came to the Ravens in 2008. Excuse me. Over the last 13 years, John Harbaugh has been the steadying force. And I hate to say this, I'm almost flabbergasted I'm saying it, but John Harbaugh has been a really stable force as far as the coaching side of the ball. We've had third rounders and free agent sign-ons make the team and contribute. And I think that you have to give coaching its due, because I was listening to an interview with Hollywood Brown, and he was talking about how he was coming when he came into the league. He came off the Liz Frank injury, right? So Hollywood had metal plates in his foot that first year when the year that Lamar made MVP. Hollywood Brown had the plates in his foot. He had the steel rods and plates in his foot, and he still put up great numbers for a rookie wide receiver.
That, you know what? Hope, before you finish, I'm so glad you told me that. I didn't know that. That makes me hopeful for ETN. You know, ETN got the Liz Frank injury, and for running backs, it's deadly for running backs.
Because they have to cut. They got to make those cuts, but science has come a long way. Let's just be clear. Half the injuries that have been caught in the last 3 years in the NFL would have ended careers in the 80s and the 90s.
Yes, it would have.
You tear ACL, you shred all three, you do a trifecta in a game, they carting you off the field, your career is over with, you in the coaching or coaching program, or you doing something else.
Yeah.
Now, you're back on the field.
Yeah.
In minimal time. So here's what I will say about this. I listened to the interview with Marquis Brown, Hollywood, and he was saying how when he got to the league in his first 2 years, he would catch the ball and go down. This is important because me and my friends from Baltimore, we criticize Marquis Brown more than anybody because every time he catches the ball, he falls to the ground. And he said in the interview last week that he did it because he was afraid of re-injuring his foot. Yeah. And that was just his thing. Make the reception, make the catch, get out. Unless it's straight away, he's a foot race. Well, here we go. Fast forward, we get the quarterback coach and T. Martin, and we get Williams to come in and do passing game coordination, and then you get the wide receivers coach and T. Martin, and now all of a sudden, Hollywood's not going down when he catches the ball.
Yeah,
he's making a second move and he's trying to advance it, and he directly attributed that trait to the new coaching staff and how they have kind of convinced him and laid his mind to rest about the re-injury. Like, they just basically said, hey man, your time in this game is limited no matter what you do. Why not just go 100% all the way out and leave nothing on the table, leave nothing on the field, because we don't know what tomorrow brings or the day after that. And Marquis has been playing like a man inspired, you know?
Yes, he has. I think he put a shoulder in somebody's chest against the Chiefs. I would say that's uncharacteristic.
Scary part for me was when Lamar stiff-armed the linebacker in the Kansas City game.
I went back and watched that again after we talked about it, man. Yeah, I saw that, and somebody was like, hey, stop.
Yeah,
stop.
I was happy. You know how you're happy, but then you're like, don't do that. Yeah. Because then they get angry because they got embarrassed on national TV, and now they want to take a cheap shot. And you know, that's how careers get ended. Because Lamar usually won't wind up. He hasn't taken a big hit, knock on wood, but he's not as small as people think he is. But at the same token, he does. Yeah, I mean, he's the franchise. He's the face of the franchise, and he literally is the future of the franchise. I've watched these games. We have 16 people on IR. Over half of that 16 are starters, and we haven't been healthier than another team yet this year. We probably won't with that many starters missing for the rest of the year. But because Lamar Demetrius Jackson is on the field, we are in every game and we have a chance. And
Yeah.
that's a phenomenal athlete. When you
Yeah.
feel like you have a chance because this guy's on the field. People think the Chiefs would never lose no matter how much they get down in the half or the quarter, because they know Mahomes has the capability of throwing up ungodly numbers in 2 quarters of football.
Yes. Yeah.
He is the comeback kid right now. I know they used to call Jim Harbaugh the comeback kid. He is definitely Mahomes is definitely the comeback kid this year. He is
Yeah.
definitely, well, I mean, that's what he's turned into in his career.
Yeah, I seen the edit of him, and they got his arm, his right arm. They edited it, and he got the Mega Man cannon for the arm with the ball coming
Yeah.
out. I said, yeah,
listen,
that's yes,
eh,
yes.
How many times has this guy been down by more than 11 points, and he erases like 21 points like it's nothing?
No, like it's nothing. Yeah.
You be like, oh yeah, they're gonna win this game. Look at the Cleveland game. Cleveland had that game. Like Cleveland was
had
up
the game
21-3. And out of nowhere, you lapse on defense, bad offensive calls to not extend drives. You got away from your running game. That was crazy for me with Cleveland, because Cleveland was just doing Cleveland then.
Pounding the ball.
There is no way you go into your third quarter with a 21-point or a 21-3 advantage, and you have Nick Chubb and your backup running back, the ex-Chief, what's the backup quarterback? Running back.
I can't think his name. Man, you got me now, because I can't think his name. But yeah. Him, you had both of them. They running hard. Yeah, they running hard.
Now it's gonna bother me till I get it. But
yeah,
you've got both of these running backs. You got one of the best running back tandems in football right now. Kareem Hunt, thank you. So you've got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, one of, if not the best backfield in football, and they only get, I think, 16 carries in the second half. How does that happen?
How?
With a 20, with a lead. With a lead. No, I'm going.
Last year,
running back.
Yeah, Nick Chubb averaged 6 yards a carry.
Hey, the best way to beat Patrick Mahomes, I've always said this, the best way to beat Patrick Mahomes is to keep him on the sideline, because if you keep him on the sideline long enough, he will overplay because he wants to make something happen, and you can get him to make a mistake. That's it. You don't want them to have rhythm. You don't want them to get into their groove. So if you can extend drives to keep him on the sideline, frustrated and not playing, you have a better chance of winning that game, because maybe he might force a throw that he's not supposed to, or maybe he goes 3 and out trying to make something happen. But you don't need a comfortable, relaxed Mahomes, because he will shred you alive.
Yeah.
So,
one of their issues, though, going forward, you got Mahomes, and they'll be in every game. But I will say it should be concerning that you can't run the football, and you definitely can't stop the run in Kansas City. Yeah.
They have not run the ball since Kareem Hunt was suspended from the league.
Yeah.
Kansas City has not effectively run the ball since Kareem Hunt has left the league. The Steelers are having that same problem. Like, I get that their record is favorable for them right now. They can't run the ball.
Yeah.
So when they start playing teams that are healthy and that can create ways to manufacture a rush with just the 4 or the 3, they're going to be in trouble trusting them receivers that way. You've got to have a counterbalance. You've got to be able to, and I tell you this, how do you maintain leads if you can't keep the run? If you can't establish a run and dominate in your run, how do you keep your lead? How do you maintain your lead?
And I think this is another point too, just as important with them, and not having the lack of running game. Not being able to run the ball means that Big Ben is going to put miles on that arm. So by the time we get to week 16, 17, wild card, divisional round, that arm for Ben, man, is going to, who knows? I mean,
he's definitely not a spring chicken. Yeah, he's definitely not a spring chicken. Definitely not a spring chicken.
Yeah, so and them hits piling up on that body, man.
Oh man, tell me about it. But man, I appreciate you for inviting me on, man. I know you got to go sometimes. I love to be on. I'm rooting for your Jags as long as they're not playing the Ravens.
It's a slow process. We got to trust the process.
It is. But I thought, let me just say this out there. I thought it was so disrespectful when Taven Bryan took Calais Campbell's old number.
Oh man, dude, we talked about that last night. And I think Jakari brought it up. Shout out to Jakari. Jakari brought it up, and Mr. Reed talked about it. He said, "Ain't no way." He said that it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
The equipment manager should have said, "Nah, you're not getting that." The equipment manager should have made a call right then and said, "Yeah, you're not getting that. That's not. You're not getting that number, man. That number don't exist right now. You know, any snaps he takes as a Jaguar is a disrespect to Lamar Jackson. That's just me. It's disrespect because he was drafted over Lamar Jackson. Disrespect. So was Rosen. Oh man, and where is he? Where is he? He is still in the league. He's thrown he's still in the league. He's backing up somebody, and he actually threw 2 passes. He's thrown 2 passes this year. Where is he at? I just saw it today.
Hold on. I got him. So, he's in Cleveland. No, Atlanta. He's in Atlanta. Okay.
He's in Atlanta. Yeah, there you go. He's in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he threw 2 passes. He's thrown 2 passes this year. He's ranked dead last in QBR. But I mean, somebody thought he would be better. And I tell people this all the time. Just because a guy starts over another guy sometimes in this league has nothing to do with talent, but it has everything to do with marketability and how they can sell it and what they can push because it's the brand that they're going after. So sometimes when they overlook, I tell people sometimes y'all got to realize when they overlook, and I'm not making excuses for them, and they pay the price. But sometimes when they overlook the black quarterbacks, it's not really about race. It's really about how they can market them. So, I mean, ultimately it's about race, but most times it's not even nothing personal or sinister. It's just, will my fan base get behind this guy?
Yeah.
The Jaguars have had several opportunities to get African-American quarterbacks, but ever since Garrard and Leftwich left, they just haven't made. They've been scared. I'll venture as much to say that even when Gerard and Leftwich were here, the fan base was not that great to get behind them.
No, they hung Leftwich out to dry. Garrard was loved though because he was such a likable guy. He's still loved in the community. Anytime he shows up, people hear him talk, stuff like that. He was liked. Leftwich, it was like this with Leftwich.
So,
but Garrard was loved.
Well, Garrard, I think that's the reason why y'all having some of the troubles y'all having right now. I think the ancestors didn't like the way Garrard was done or handled. I don't think they liked the way that situation
cutting him
was
right
handled.
before the season. Yeah,
he came back in on good faith without trying to hold you over the barrel for a contract. He had just took you to a playoff that year. That he took you to the playoffs. I think he had like 6 interceptions that whole year. You guys were playing well under his charge, and for him not to get an extension, and for you to give people like
they gave the team to Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, Blaine, and he's still playing in this league. I just don't get it. Blaine Gabbert is a backup quarterback for somebody in this league right now, and his ability is inability. But like I said, a lot of times it is, it's a business sometimes, and sometimes you go with the face that you think the fans gonna love the most, and sometimes that backfires on you. I think it should all be about talent because I truly think that talent will always transcend color and race and creed. Talent is. Look at Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson wasn't the biggest athlete in the world, but he was a galvanizing athlete. And no matter how much you didn't like him, you could not deny that the guy was talented. You know what I mean? We look at Vince Young. When you look at, talent will always overwrite the personal misgivings and implicit bias. Talent is just, it's undeniable, man.
All you got to do is there's a picture out there of a white kid with cornrows, Allen Iverson jersey on. He has all of his tattoos. He got like little fake tattoos, Allen Iverson. He got the headband. got the wristband, and this is a white kid, man, blonde hair braided to the back, huge Allen Iverson fan. That lets you know how he transcended the league, man. The cultural icon.
And that's when you know, and that's when you know that talent transcends everything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I like I said, I'm looking forward to watching football this year. I don't even know why. I was doubting it a little bit, but I really think that there's some parity. I think there's parity this year, and I think that everybody has a puncher's chance to win right now. Like no one is. You can go in as the favorite, you know, but right now, look at Green Bay. Nobody expected Green Bay to play like that in the first game of the season, and then to come back in the second game and put on that type of performance, which is typical of what we know Green Bay being able to do. I think there's going to be a lot of games that 17 is a great number, but I think with the playoffs being expanded and things going the way they are, I think there's going to be a lot of great football ahead of us.
Yeah, man. So
I'm here for it.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll end it with Mr. Skip Bayless, which a dead clock is right twice a day. You know, we know this. You know, sometimes Skip says some things that I agree with. A lot of times I'll be like, Skip's just, man, come on, man. No. But when he talks, he's always been a Lamar guy from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
He even told Shannon, he said, Shannon, I've been more of a Lamar guy than you. You've had your doubts.
I think I heard him say that.
that. Yeah. He's always been a Lamar guy from the beginning. And one of the things that he brought up, he highlighted is he said Lamar's competitive bone in his body. He said, dude, it's big.
It's infectious, man.
Yeah.
If Lamar walked up to me and said, "Hey, Kurt, I need you to play," and knowing him, people don't realize how mannerable this young man is. He would probably say, "Hey, Mr. Kurt, I need you to play left tackle for 4 downs. I got him."
And that's exactly that's exactly what he sounds like. I was like, how could you dislike this kid? Listen to him talk for 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Listen to him talk.
Yeah. It's the hate. I act like that's my son. I don't even care. I tell people like that could be my son. Lamar Jackson could be my son. That dude is all right guy, and he's very mannerable. He has a love for the game. Like when you see him play, that love for the game always transcends everything else. So that's really that's really the best thing that I love about Lamar being the quarterback of the Ravens. It's like the Ravens was like, you know what? We're gonna go down a rabbit hole because this is our guy. Like after that All-Star break, after the break, they was like, we moved from Joe Flacco. It was like, you know what? This is our guy. Let's go. Let's just go with it. And when they didn't remove him from the playoff game against the Seattle, when he didn't get kicked, when they didn't take him out the game and replace him with Flacco, when they didn't replace him with Flacco in the San Diego's game, I understood unequivocally that Lamar Jackson was going to be the face of the Ravens moving forward. Because if you say, I've got a viable, healthy quarterback on the league who this moment is not bigger than, and I'm going to leave him on the bench, then you're making a mental and emotional commitment to live and die with Lamar. And I think that when they made that gesture to Lamar, he was sold out for them. And that's why Lamar believes he can make every throw. And that's why he believes he can make every play.
Yeah.
People love to be loved.
Yeah. And he's that one of the most humble kids I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think he's a little too humble sometimes. Every now and then, he need the peacock. That's just me though. That's just me. I want him to continue to be him. He'll do it, but I don't think he does it enough.
Listen, some people just watch him on like the national media, but like when you catch his interviews, trust me, that young man is fully aware of what he is capable of.
Yes, he is.
And I quote, when the reporter asked Lamar, well, you know, the narrative out there is that teams have kind of figured you out and da-da-da-da-da-da. What was his response?
He said, didn't he say I'm figuring them? What he said, what if I'm figuring them out?
No, that was one of the sports that said that. He said, I doubt it.
That was, he said, I doubt. Okay, yeah. He
I seriously doubt it.
Yeah.
And to go back and have the 2 performances that he did, even with the fumbles, he kind of said, yeah, y'all ain't figured this man out yet.
Right.
I heard Shannon say, that's the dumbest comment I ever heard. Figure what out? How do you figure out 4.3 speed? How do you figure out this type of elusiveness? It's nothing to figure out. We know what it is. You know what he's going to do. You can't stop him.
Can't stop it.
Yeah.
Can't stop
Figure
it.
it out.
Can't stop it.
I heard a commentator say, like, everybody has figured Lamar out. What is he talking about? Everybody's figured him out. Figuring him out ain't the problem. Who gonna stop him? Like,
who gonna stop him?
And he made a great point. Who gonna stop him? You can figure him out. He runs a 4.3. He has great field vision. Stop him.
Yeah.
Because even when you think you got him stopped, he does the jump pass. Like, come on.
Come on, dog. Come on, dog. It is what it is, man. But hey, appreciate you for coming on, man.
Hey, man,
talking
always,
this Ravens
man.
football. Hey, when are you getting this podcast started up, man?
So we have Petty Lives Matter on Gunshine State Network. We have that podcast up and running and it's going. We have a No Name podcast. We have Four Sportsmen, The Four Sportsmen. All of these are on the Gunshine State Podcast Network. So, and we're trying to get a whole slew of podcasts. We've started a network and we're just gonna make it do what it do.
Okay.
It's our voices, our stories, our time. So
okay.
That's what we're gonna do. Matter of fact, if we can convince you to stop being independent, we can bring you on over to the Gunshine State Podcast Network. So, but like I say, man, listen, to every Jag fan out there, man, I appreciate y'all for not picking Demetrius when you had a chance. I thank you. I salute you so that Ozzie could make this great last pick. I just love it. I appreciate it. So
yeah,
my hats is off to you guys. Salute.
Yeah, right. Your pleasure has been my pain, you know, but it is what it is.
Nah, it'll get better for you guys. It'll get better. I think Trevor Lawrence is good. I just hope I hope they don't beat his psyche in, but I think he's gonna be good.
I think so. Yeah, I hope. I don't want a Darnold situation for him where he flames out here and then go flourishes somewhere else. Get it right.
Yeah, go to San Francisco and show out. Yeah.
Man,
yeah, we'll see, man. It's still early, man. It's still early, but we got room if y'all want to ride with the Ravens. We still got room, man. We still got room.
Still got room. I got you.
Yes,
man.
sir.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to all my social media. Hey, you can follow Kurtzon. Where can they? I know you on Facebook. Where else are you?
I'm on Facebook at Kurtzon Bulware. I am on Twitter at Kurtzon Bulware, and I am on Instagram as Kurtzon Bulware, and I'm on Twitter as KBoogie613.
Okay.
Follow me any way you want to, but follow the Gunshine State Podcast Network. That's where you will find our podcasts at. And definitely keep tuning in to the definition of a sports fanatic. Hosted by my man. I'm proud of you. I love what you're doing. And anytime you need me, man, just hit the line. You know I got you.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. You've been one of my biggest supporters from the beginning, man. So I always got to show love, man.
Yes, sir. No worries.
Yes, sir.
And
man.
I'm going to say go Jags one more time since we're going to play y'all this year. Go Jags.
I appreciate that, man. Hey.
All right, man.
I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time, man. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.